Hey everyone, welcome back. Comments पढ़ने का time आ गया है. We have a lot to go through. But before we go through, I like doing this. Spring a surprise on you guys. सबके comments पढ़ने से पहले I myself had a comment. Yeah, I was eager to talk about this. कि ना, if you didn't know, Call of Duty World War II, very serious World War game. उसमें Snoop Dogg को add कर दिया उन्होंने. As a skin, and it's like a $20 skin. तो ऐसा सस्ता आदमी नहीं है वो. The best part is कि I saw some game, कोई वीडियो देखा मैंने जिसमें all 5 or 6 team members, they're all Snoop Dogs in one team, and everybody is running around like they're wearing this World War era pimp coat.
And just mailing people.
Oh my god, क्या चल रहा है भाई? मैं कहा that is why man, that is why Call of Duty makes money. क्योंकि वो देख के मेरे माइंड में था fuck, मुझे भी लेना है, I need this. ये और कहाँ ऐसा cultural
Authentic World War II experience
with Snoop Dogg. But yeah, so that's something I think जो सब लोगों को पता होना चाहिए. Everybody.
Chamarus, one more thing to add to that Call of Duty. मतलब मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा स्टूपिड हूँ क्योंकि मैं फर्स्ट टेक जो होता है मेरा कोई भी कुछ देखने पर वो इतना ज्यादा मतलब क्या बोलते हैं इडियोटिक होता है. तो मैंने रिसेंटली देखा कि कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी में नया अपडेट आ रहा है, ठीक है, और वो जैसे घमासान युद्ध हो रहा है किंग कॉन्ग और गॉडजिला का ऐसे कुछ, तो मेरा दिमाग में पहले आया कि स्किन होगा. तो आई वाज थिंकिंग कि गॉडजिला किंग कॉन्ग का स्किन पहन के दौड़ेंगे, मजा आएगा. स्नूप डॉग भी आ गया है, बहुत सारे दूसरे भी आ गए, एंड आई एम लाइक किसी को बोलने ही वाला था कि कितने का स्किन है, बिकॉज़ सम वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स प्लेज इट रेगुलरली, एंड देन आई डिड saw the trailer and everything के मतलब वो दिखा नहीं. फिर मैं सोचा कि शायद बाद में दिखाएंगे, but yeah, that's the story के मैं कितना idiot हो सकता हूँ. So King Kong and Godzilla are there right now in
fighting
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I don't know on whose team. Yeah,
that is the dream though. King Kong suit में you're parachuting down, Godzilla coming down on a parachute.
अभी ये गेम Fortnite होता है तो you would not have blinked and like eyelid, right? तो मैं बोलता कि हाँ जरूर, क्यों नहीं.
वैसे in fact Call of Duty में आएगा तो I would be more excited to be honest, क्योंकि it will be even sillier. Fortnite में आएगा तो चलो ठीक है, एक और ऐड हो गया नहीं, but this
Modern Warfare 2, keep the dream coming man.
so modern.
इंसानों पे नहीं है पर मैं भी गन्स पे मैंने देखा है गॉडजिला का स्किन, वहां पे से स्पाइक बना हुआ है, मैंने ये क्या है.
So yeah, that's very important. Some comments from us, but अब हम audience के सुनते हैं. शुरू करते हैं with some appreciation, ताकि to start off on a positive note, क्योंकि end में तो हम गाली दे ही रहते हैं. So starting में शशि कहता, nowadays I open YouTube only to watch Game of Thrones podcast. Great stuff. ये तो I could not even believe. अगर ये सच है तो man, this is
तो झूठ है.
म्यूजिक
वीडियोस का देखता है तू, मीम्स का देखता है तू.
हाँ, too high a praise शशि, but I like it, I'll take it.
गेम ट्रेलर का देखता है तू शशि? हाँ,
आईजीएन देखता है
.com पे जाके.
ठीक है, अब नेक्स्ट यश कह रहा है, will Gotham Knights have Batman or not? If not, why the fuck are they even releasing the game? Wanting to waste money like Square Enix Avengers. यार Avengers में तो of course Batman नहीं आ सकता नहीं, तो इसीलिए he wasn't there. But मुझे लग रहा है even hey, if it's a good game, it'll still अरे अभी cannot believe what he heard.
So good यार. Batman.
So अभी do you think कि बिना Batman के Gotham Knights, अगर नहीं आया Batman उसमें, do you think it'll not work?
I mean it depends. Because like it's in Gotham for the first time. There's no Batman, so it will feel weird. Like you are playing four different You're playing four different characters, but I mean at the same time you're probably playing two. But 4 different characters, and they're not. You will not have Batman around at all, so it will feel different. It might work. I have doubts, but it might work. Depends upon how if there is good enough story, or what kind of combat you get to go, or how you switch between characters and all that. Like Avengers ka story where you had 2 characters going through. If you'll have that, it is okay, but story. I hope it's not the story in Gotham Knights. So I don't know. It could work. It could most probably work. But as Batman,
bet लगाना मेरे साथ.
Playable?
What's the bet?
Towards the end of the game, they're in trouble. Doesn't look good. Suddenly, you just hear thugs going down, and you're like, and then suddenly You just see a Batarang go by, and you're like, no way! And outside the shadow walks Iron Man.
Oh, fuck. पैसे तो दोनों के पास है.
You're not supposed to be here.
But I do
Yeah.
think he will show up at the end. Playable, that is where you, that is a good question.
That's where the bet comes in, Darren. If you're
Yeah.
up for it, we'll take it on that. But Manas, on that note, I'd like to tell you that अगर बैटमैन का गेम हुआ एंड गॉथम नाइट्स और उसमें बैटमैन नहीं हुआ तो कैसे गेम चल सकता है, तो वैसा एग्जांपल है मेरे पास. So I'm just a teenager back then, 2003, and this game comes out called Enter the Matrix. And I am very excited. मुझे बर्थडे में मिलता है सीडी, ठीक है, गिफ्ट में, ठीक है, एकदम मतलब यहाँ पे वंडरलैंड बोल के एक जगह, वहां से मेरा एक कजन लाके दिया मेरे को, ठीक है, खरीद के तब 999 में ऐसा कुछ दाम रहता था. हाँ ठीक है, वीडियो गेम वंडरलैंड. मैं खोलता हूँ गेम, चलाता हूँ एंड फकिंग गेम खत्म होने वाला है, नियो कहीं नहीं है. एंड आई एम लाइक
he has exited the Matrix.
ये क्या गेम है? But yeah, so that game did work. It flopped hard. So
But अगर पहले से expectation set है, and if it's a good game, जैसे Enter the Matrix had other issues also. नहीं ऐसे नहीं था कि Neo नहीं था, काफी चीजें नहीं थी उस गेम में.
Game नहीं था.
So maybe that's why, like, Yash, I think, hey, valid concern, but game अच्छा होगा तो I think it will work. And also whatever they're showing so far looks interesting. And also the other game, Kill the Justice League. Suicide Squad है, Kill the Justice League है.
Suicide Squad.
Kill the Justice
Kill
League.
the Justice League. उसमें भी Batman नहीं है, and it has like a lot of other Batman affiliated characters. So
yeah,
it could be fun, but let's see. ठीक है यश, we'll report back once the game is out. Don't worry. ईशान कह रहा है April has been a silent month for story games, but multiplayer games have been booming. Fortnite removes building, Warzone, Snoop Dogg event. Very important वैसे.
Very important.
Truly booming. तो like yeah, I think that's true. वैसे बात सही ना, साल का first half was like packed. First half January छोड़ो, February तो was packed. उसके बाद I think even अभी भी ऐसा लग रहा है April में single player games enough नहीं है, तो भी उनका trail चल रहा है. I'm still playing छोटे-छोटे games और आ भी रहे हैं. It's a lot to play.
Ishaan
Ishaan has a
forgot
good
the
time.
biggest multiplayer game of April. Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah, Overwatch 2 का
Overwatch
beta.
2.
People,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people knew. तो ये
Losers
आने
हैं
वाला है नहीं. मुझे भी नहीं पता था एक हफ्ते पहले तक वैसे.
2 दिन पहले पता लगा है.
I am one of those. चलो, on to the next one. Madhav कह रहा है, what's your opinion on Series S, guys? Asking the question since it's a pretty controversial console and since it's an Xbox, would love to hear Ayush's opinion on it too. Ayush ने तो already
Let's
बोल
ask
दिया.
Ayush. Guys,
Ayush.
let's all look to Ayush. Ayush, what's your opinion?
कह रहा है,
Very sad.
I just switched his camera off. Doesn't want to talk.
तो anyways, तो he's asking Series S के बारे में specifically. I think कि देखो budget अगर constraints है तो the Series S या फिर Xbox Series X हो या S हो with the Game Pass is great. That's what I would have said until yes Spartacus came along. Spartacus में और features हैं, trials and demos and all which are controversial and we'll talk about it separately. But मुझे लग रहा है now that Spartacus का वो games library है ना, that is all that finally matters. Really. तो अगर वो बढ़िया निकला and I know कि day one games नहीं है उसमें, but if you still get like a good catalog of games, even if first party day one नहीं है, other third party day one games है, could be still great. अभी भी like even on Xbox ऐसा नहीं कि back to back AAA games like third party games are coming to Game Pass day one. First party आ रहे हैं, good games are coming, but yeah, maybe you should wait. Though I do think 27 में it's a damn good deal. वो कह रहा है 27 में मिल रहा है कहीं पे Series S. 27 में
PS5 सबसे सस्ता अगर
40.
मिलेगा तो 40 का मिलेगा.
40, yeah.
Yeah.
उसमें तू PS Plus प्रीमियम डाल दे या उससे नीचे वाला डाल दे तो 5000. If you don't want the classic games,
Yeah.
that's 45,000 वहीं पे.
Just one
उतना सस्ता नहीं होगा. Sorry, Series S.
just one small thing to add to that. I just very personal opinion है. I think by the end of the console generation, ये जो console generation चल रहा है जब तक end होगा, I think Series S will become the millstone in Microsoft's neck.
It will struggle.
This will be the hardware that will be dragging Microsoft's games down rather than be able to target PlayStation's graphical prowess. This is the one that will be dragging it down. They'll have to cater to the lowest common minimum, which is this S. So I don't think it's a good proposition to go for that.
Yeah. And जो visual वो जो मिल रहा है, the first visual taste that you get is what drives a lot of sales also. तो मुझे लग रहा है अगर, and that was one of the biggest problems last generation. Like वो initial narrative यही था ना कि PS4 games just look and play better. Even if difference visible भी नहीं था, तब भी the narrative just क्या बोलते हैं, got out of hand. तो इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि I'm just hesitant to recommend the Series S, क्योंकि I've heard from people who have tried the Series S and उन्होंने खुद बोला है कि they have returned it, yeah, they have sold it and then gotten a Series X. Nobody has anything bad to say about the Series X. वहाँ पे तो then it's a choice of games. And right now I feel कि right now मेरा taste, even though I love what Xbox is giving, if I like जो higher value पे I think PlayStation अभी भी है. Even though I think honestly already I feel Xbox is fairly caught up just because of Game Pass. And अगर वो same offer अगर PS पे आ रहा है, then the differences are even smaller and it's totally onto Madhav. I think the right question to ask is maybe not the price, wait for a price drop अगर हो सके तो, but which games do you eventually want to play? Unless you're very patient, you're thinking अरे यार अभी मैं कुछ तो शुरू करूँ 27,000 में, I'll just start playing these games and then maybe 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line, I'll get the next console.
Right.
Another thing I want to add is कि price और वो तो ठीक है, but like some people I know who play games but उनको ना they don't care about resolution, they don't care कि 4K नहीं है, 1440p नहीं है.
Yeah.
So if you don't really care, you're like fine 1080p screen है तुम्हारा and you're happy with that, then तो Series S तो is fine then, because पूरा generation almost वो 1080p चला लेगा तुमको.
और अगर एकदम
you
we are
just
casual
have
as well, casual gamer भी हो, then
वही
अगर
Game
उतना
Pass के
हो,
साथ casually चल जाएगा वो.
लेकिन अगर सिर्फ उतना ही हो, स्पेशली गेम पास इंडीज, यू राइट, गेम पास के इंडीज वगैरह तो टेंशन ही नहीं है. बट जिनसे मैंने सुना था ना, द प्रॉब्लम वाजंट, इट वाज लाइक इट्स लाइक ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ PS4. वो कह रहे उसका पावर ना कि 720p पे चल रहे हैं गेम्स, तो वो कह रहा है कि लाइक वो कह रहा है इट्स रियली डिड लाइक इफेक्ट बॉदर हिम. लाइक उससे पहले वो PS4 पे खेलता था, एंड अगर और PS4 स्टाइल चीजें मिलती, या तो इट वुड हैव बीन, बट कह रहा है इट डिड बॉदर हिम. तो मुझे लगा स्पेशली यार, अगर मुझे लग रहा है धीरे धीरे पीपल विल, टीवीज आर गेटिंग चीपर. TVs ना 30,000 में you can now end up getting like a 48-inch TV. कभी-कभी 35 में you can get a 50-inch TV. तो just look, Madhav, totally on you. Like if अगर already if you have like a 1080p monitor and कोई plan ही नहीं है 10 साल के लिए upgrade करने का, then of course. But ये सारी चीजें consider करना ठीक है. If you're planning to get like a 4K TV 1 साल में, then you'll regret कि fuck मैं अपना Xbox इस पे लगा रहा हूँ 720p पे चल रहा है game. तो I'm not saying कि सारे future games 720p पे चलेंगे, but already अगर situation थोड़ा वैसा जा रहा है तो just think about it. है ना, like 27,000 now या फिर 40-50,000
27 now, 5 years down, 3 years down, then 50 again.
Yeah.
So
deep thought will lead you to the right answers. हमने सारे options खोल के बता दिए. अच्छा, ये तो हमने discuss कर लिया था, but I think deeper discussion on it will now take place with Ayush. Harshit had a thought about Sony adding ads in free to play games. मेरा क्वेश्चन था टू काइंड ऑफ टर्न दिस थोड़ा अराउंड बाकी डिस्कशन में आयुष कम्स कि ना अभी द प्लान इज लाइक 2022 2023 से फ्री टू प्ले गेम्स में एड्स आएंगे. व्हाट इज योर लाइक बेस्ट गेस कि ना व्हेन डज दिस कम टू लाइक प्रीमियम $60 गेम्स के सेम एड्स वाला? हाउ लॉन्ग
डेथ स्ट्रैंडिंग में
more pervasive, more actively changing? What if जैसे today you're playing, just an example, today you're playing
Burnout Paradise में भी था.
हाँ, changing ads.
हाँ, updating ads.
मतलब regular basis पे.
हाँ, I think उसमें the ads used to change on the billboards and all. I think so. I'm not sure. Okay. But I remember कि when like the original version of the game, when it went down, तो उसका ad server was still active or something.
Okay.
And then they remastered, then they changed it. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I think it had like an ad system that was working. Got it. It is not common, but आएगा यार, आएगा. More money to be made.
Bet on a date.
3 years.
Oh damn! तो काफी जल्दी है. It's saying 2025, 2026.
Somehow they have to make the 60. If the game stays $60 and they're on like passes, they have to somehow make the money, right? They have to somehow get more revenue in for their games. So that will be an easy path to do it.
मैं डेट तो नहीं बता सकता, पर गेम बता सकता हूँ. पहला सिंगल प्लेयर गेम या जो मैं आई एक्सपेक्ट दैट गेम टू बी लाइक अ क्लाउड बेस्ड गेम, नेक्स्ट GTA 6, उसमें एड्स रहेंगे, बिलबोर्ड्स पे एड्स रहेंगे, रियल वर्ल्ड एड्स रहेंगे. दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक पॉसिबल. Yeah, because I think they will lean very closely to that cloud tech regarding traffic, regarding crowds and everything. वो चीज के बारे में they have multiple patents which they did last year. So I think they are going to really lean into that. to create that immersion, the next generation of immersion. So I think next generation of immersion के लिए next generation of ads भी लगेंगे.
But यार मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि adding real world ads to GTA is kind of the exact opposite of what GTA is about. Like उसमें
Yeah.
GTA में जो brands है, जो ads है, they're all a parody, and that is what makes it GTA. नहीं, like, मुझे लग रहा है
I
उसमें
agree.
real ads add करेंगे तो it just kills the spirit, the fun, the mockery, the satire aspect of GTA. Unless of course sporadically spread out, oh, it's not like through and through.
But even then, like I feel like, especially even like billboards के अलावा, clothes store के अलावा, if they put in like radio में real ads, oh man, that will be immersive. Because GTA का radio is usually like you want to listen. मैं अभी भी जाके GTA San Andreas का radio सुनता हूँ with the commentary from the radio host because it's that good. So
Maybe.
I
That
hope they
could
don't do that.
मुझे लग रहा है आएगा तो it makes complete sense in GTA Online. It is like the biggest seller, and also it totally makes sense कि ad companies would be willing to work with GTA. It's like the biggest game in the world वाला situation में, तो it makes sense. मुझे लग रहा है I really hope कि they keep it away from GTA single player ताकि वो story, वो satire, वो world का जो
Immersion breaking now.
Yeah, जो essence है, what GTA means ना, वो break now. GTA Online is a whole other beast. I think उसमें add करो, make them miserable.
But don't you think ad companies will be like, in this game you can kill people, you can bomb people, you can do this, that? They'll be a little, you know, कि oh shit, controversy साथ link नहीं होना.
Movies में इतना है तो like
वो तो
movies
आदमी
product placement.
Call of Duty के बारे में ही बोलता है, पर Mountain Dew तो वहीं भी बिकता है. मतलब I think it has no, मतलब जो दिखेगा वो बिकेगा. मतलब if something sells, people will go after it no matter what the controversy is. Like आदमी को मार रहे हो, कर रहे हो, वो Band-Aid का ad दे देगा वहाँ पे. मतलब it has nothing to do with anything.
So Neospore in the cat डाल दो.
And also क्या बोलते हैं अभी के टाइम में like a lot of these big brands themselves are owning streaming sub platforms जिस पे there are violent shows. Amazon ले लो, Amazon can run an ad in GTA. I mean just saying, just as an example, Disney के अंदर partners होंगे who might run ads in GTA. तो I think it मतलब अभी with their violence is selling.
और अभी का वर्ल्ड मतलब it's not very far from GTA satire, right? Sometimes you know you can't make the difference.
Yeah. That's true.
True.
So yeah, that's we'll talk about this even more, Ayush.
Yeah.
That's like a not so short answer. Developers of No Man's Sky said that, and this is from Harshit. The previous question also was from Harshit, the Thanneru Lavanya. Devs of No Man's Sky said that it is still incomplete because they still have to have ideas to add. यार इसका like I'll start with my thought. मुझे ऐसा लगा like I genuinely still feel कि जो core है ना उस game का, the way it starts and जो initial जो loop है, that needs to be more interesting, and there needs to be there is a path. वैसे Atlas वाला जो story mission type वाला जो भी उन्होंने last add किया था, it added like a path, a better path, but the worlds expeditions. But मुझे लग रहा है तब भी there is a good chance कि ना like when you're actually landing on worlds, the worlds may not end up looking that good. तो मुझे लग रहा है that is what they need to make first, ताकि you're already hooking me to the world, the lore, not even the story or the lore as such, but जो world में जो चीजें हैं, जैसे expedition वाले path में you come across these space stations fairly often and they look incredible. Like उनका जो scope and scale है सब कुछ फाड़ू है, and a lot of the space stuff is still fun to look at. But एक path तो मुझे दे देना just to get me immersed initially. So I think that will make me more willing to go on these other journeys. मुझे लग रहा है the other journeys that they've added later on, they're way more interesting. But the core of it ना वो लग रहा है that still fails to hook you in a way कि like मैं तो hesitant हूँ अभी. Like every new update I at least install it and कभी-कभी मैं check out भी किया है. But ऐसा लग रहा है like every time I've noticed the only problem is the core of that game. जो शुरुआत जो वगैरह है ना वो मजा नहीं आ रहा है.
I agree. 100%.
Same here.
Same.
But I still think like they have a long term, at least a 2-year plan for whatever they're going to do ahead with No Man's Sky. So, but till then, you know, as November is coming up, you can, you know, if you're wanting that pre-planned path, you can always wait for Starfield, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm trying to be excited. I want to be. Hey, another thought about No Man's Sky कि ये जो studio है, like they'll eventually 1-2 साल में be done with No Man's Sky. So what do you think the next game is? Like another, they're saying ना उनका massive scope and scale वाला game है.
No Woman's Sky.
Finally.
Equality.
The world we need.
Yeah.
मजाक कर रहे हैं. Don't cancel me. Not So one of the thoughts was ki like space but bigger, but already their game is like insanely massive.
Mhm.
So somewhere online I heard this idea ki hey, what if like a very deeply simulated big planet,
Yeah.
like not like a big space or like a focused area, but deep
Mhm.
simulations, weather systems,
Yeah.
a lot of interactive dynamic stuff, trading economy, like but pure planet scale pe, like they already have
I
massive
thought
scale.
we discussed this and
We did,
rumors
we
were
did.
there ki this was happening, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That this is their
Oh, shit.
next game.
Yeah. So I gave the example that time. I think it's going to be very similar to that Brendan Green project that he's doing by himself. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
the whole planetary
Oh, yeah, that was-
generation regarding
Mhm.
that. Yeah. So I think that will
And
be
I heard it
interesting to
here
see.
only.
Yeah.
What if Brendan Green is working with them?
Yes.
Yes.
And they are working with us.
You hear it from
Alright.
you hear it from here.
You heard
Alright,
it first.
that's it for No Man's Sky. Kshitiz कह रहा है, I'm waiting for the day when Last of Us can be controversy free again. I mean, how come every move they make creates controversy? Sometimes it feels intentional, but yeah, it is what it is.
I don't think it'll ever be
Intentional?
controversy free.
I never saw it as intentional, but yeah, controversy free, maybe not.
Never.
मुझे लग रहा है
Ever
उसके लिए
since.
you need to guarantee कि ना everybody has good taste.
Hmm.
अब वो नहीं है तो क्या कर सकते? Can't. Kshitiz, that right there is your answer, man.
And Kshitiz, just one more thing to add to that. It's going to get into more controversy since the remake is on the charts, and it's still a rumor. We just get hints dropped here and there from LinkedIn stuff and other leakers. But this is going to be the newest game, like the shortest game from the release to the remake time. The youngest game to get a remake and the second game to get both a remaster and a remake. So
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus was the first one and this is going to be the second. So वहाँ पे कुछ change किए तो वो एक और controversy की शुरुआत होगी. I hope there are some changes. I want there to be some controversy.
Yeah.
When do you
मैंने-
think we'll get Last of Us Part 2 remake?
Oh.
2 years from now?
Yes.
उसमें
No,
तो
no,
होंगे
no.
changes.
It's coming in the same time Last of Us remake भी. Last of Us remake के साथ Last of Us 2 remake
Oh.
दोनों आएगा. The crowd is like,
Alternate timeline.
Alternate time.
where the one we do not name is not dead. But Joel is still lives. Abby's not there.
He's still your daddy. So
He's still your daddy.
hey, वैसे speaking of like Last of Us 2 का controversy ना, I saw a video काफी पहले देखा था मैंने called some channel on YouTube called The Closer Look. I don't know if you heard of it. तो उसने he had some criticisms of Last of Us Part 2 which I did not agree with. Like first 2 घंटे का वीडियो है तो first half तो मैं कही तो none of it I agree with, but hey, he said it very
फिर भी इतना देख लिया.
काफी explain किया, but then the second half was like him positing like his version, like how would he have done it. Man, that story that he told was incredible. Like उसमें totally like उसके जो first half के criticisms like मेरे बिल्कुल vibe नहीं किया. Second half में तो I was like आधा closing my eyes and imagining it. It was so good. तो इसलिए I will highly recommend if any of you are like if you were happy with Last of Us 2 and if you're especially not happy, उसका वो वीडियो देखना, उसका towards the end the story that he pitches, it's incredible. I really वो देख के मुझे लगा fuck man, I would love to see this game. As much as I still think Last of Us 2 का जो original story, I love it and I enjoyed it, but I absolutely want to see the other story that the YouTuber pitched. बहुत फाड़ू था.
Definitely.
बहुत in detail.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, बहुत detail में गया. And he draws almost all the foundation and parallels is from the original Last of Us 2.
Oh,
सब
nice.
पूरा रीमेक भी नहीं किया है, ओरिजिनल उससे बहुत फाउंडेशन पिक किया है, and the themes that the Last of Us 2 was going for, but he pitched like an entirely different story. Lot of fun. सुन के बड़ा मजा आया था. I could not believe कि somebody I disagreed with this much in the first half. I was loving his pitch. So I highly recommend it. पहले बोलना भूल गया था मैं, but here you go.
New
Alright.
canon for people. Alternate timeline यही बनेगा.
Yeah, maybe
Nice.
remake में ये डाल दो. I think take him as a writer. Use this. It's good stuff. All right. Next one. क्या बोलते हैं? ये तो हाँ. ये वो we were talking about Elden Ring, Bloodborne, which one is better and all.
Yeah.
Horizon. तो आशीष वालिया ने बोला है कि Metacritic rating and user score wise Bloodborne trumps Elden Ring by a huge margin. It's not even a fight, but मुझे लग रहा है like Elden Ring has a better Metacritic score, user and क्या बोलते हैं critic reviews. But anyways, इसका next point था that I kind of agree with कि ना, in my opinion, I'd say Souls games reached their creative peak in Dark Souls 1. इसका मुझे लगा I see some truth to it, especially in how interconnected that world is. Like वो like मुझे ऐसा लगा like when I started playing Dark Souls, I had no context for like what like Demon Souls मैंने खेला था, but उस टाइम में मुझे इतना भी ढंग से समझ नहीं था कि ना this will be like a build up of that Demon Souls. क्योंकि Demon Souls वन ऑफ गेम लगा था, कहीं आउट ऑफ नोवेयर कुछ आया था वैसे, तो डार्क सोल्स में स्पेशली दैट लेवल डिजाइन, द इंटरकनेक्टेड स्टफ, एंड इट ट्रूली इज लाइक माइंड ब्लोइंग कि ना like first half of the game you kind of moving up, and then second half you're kind of moving down, and then like the whole thing, the way it connects,
loops.
Yeah, the shortcuts, the paths that you take, like वैसा I remember wanting every other souls like जो मैंने खेला है ना, उससे मेरा यही expectation रहेगा ना, can you nail that? And I think पहला जो Surge था, Surge 1 kind of did a lot of great shortcuts वाला stuff very well, and अभी recently Tunic did, but nothing like Dark Souls 1 man. I still think कि उस मामले में तो yeah, unmatched even by
I think
Elden Ring.
World and level design wise, Dark Souls 1 is probably one of the best. I feel, in my opinion, one of the best out there in the world. Like once you get to Firelink Shrine and you start exploring, and then you're trudging, and suddenly you hit that first ladder, na? At Undead Burg, which comes down, and then it takes you straight to the bridge to where the Drake is.
Oh, yeah.
And it clicks thoda. And then you play more, and then you reach Firelink again from another side. And you're like, oh, it clicks more. So the more you keep going in, like, I love
Firelink
the
is
part,
like the central hub.
Firelink is central hub, and you go above it or you go below it. And isme you can actually see the places that are going to. New Londo can be seen. Anor Londo can be seen up, like the walls of it can be seen. Going down to like, you go to Undead Burg, फिर you keep going down, you reach that area, क्या कहते हैं? Blight Town. Blight Town say if you go into the tree and you keep going down, you reach Ash Lake. And Ash Lake like blows your mind with what is over there. I don't want to spoil for anyone who's not played it, but it's old. But Ash Lake is amazing. Then you go to Anor Londo and you see the top of the world. You know, jahan pe gods stay, and you're like, wow. And then you look down, you can barely see maybe where you were. And the catacombs and everything. And if you look at the world, like I think there's a 3D world editor of Dark Souls where you can like, you know, see all the areas, which speedrunners use that essentially to see na, ki where they can skip, collision kahan hai and all that. So on that you can see it's like literally like this. It's all like a pillar, and that's what speedrunners use. Ki okay, I want to go from this area to this area. What is the interconnected space between them that I can somehow skip to go here?
Yeah.
And that's what makes the game so amazing. Just, it's awesome. It's mind-blowing. I love it.
Yeah. That first time experience that you mentioned, na, discovering shortcuts and एक के बाद एक आता रहता है. Yeah, you can't believe it कि like फिर से होगा क्या? ये नहीं यार, like it's not possible. There can't be another one of these shortcuts that will bring me back here, right? Like, but they keep at it, like, oh, it's incredible.
All right. Anything?
नहीं, मैं तुम लोग बात कर रहे थे, मैं खाली ये सोच रहा था परसों मैं अपने एक दोस्त, आई विल नेम एंड शेम हिम, ही इज कोलोसल, ओके, वो एल्डन रिंग खेल रहा था एंड ही वाज ट्राइंग, ही इज गॉन टू माउंट गेलमिर, गॉड डिवोरिंग सरपेंट, 50 बार मरा, बहुत मजा आया देख के, मतलब दिल खुश हो गया, इतना बार मरा ना वो, मतलब आई वाज सो एक्साइटेड टू जस्ट कीप वाचिंग हिम लाइक गो डाई, like 3/4 बाकी है, मर गया फिर से, and we are like cheering for the god serpent. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. I just wanted to say that, like, I had lots of fun watching that game.
That's the right experience, both for the viewer and the player.
Imagine we get a Dark Souls 1 remake from Bluepoint, which, you know, has everything from Dark Souls 1, but the combat, like the gameplay, movement and combat, is from Elden Ring. Oof. I don't mean the jump thoda to might break the game, but just the combat, like the R2s, you know, like guard kya kehte hain usko, guard crushing, like blocking and then coming with an R2 and slamming someone, and all of that, like imagine giant dad, like, you know, where the giant dad build and doing that and just wrecking characters, like, oh, somebody make that, someone make that.
Bluepoint, contact Bluepoint.
I was about to say that's a Bluepoint joint.
कोई तो बना लो यार, मजा आ जाएगा.
Putting it in my death notebook of games that should never happen.
All right. Next one. This one comes again from Madhav. It's a good, interesting question. वो कहता है, I have a question for you guys too. When discussing about video games, I mainly see people talk about the gameplay mechanics and if it's fun to play. I hardly see people talk about the story. For me, a game storyline and the level of emotion it offers is the most important criteria. Some games have even made me cry, and I'm a grown man.
Ah.
I wanted to know which game story did you enjoy the most. But the first part I did want to kind of address कि ना, like इसने बोला ना, like you don't see a lot of people talking about the story. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि most games, like majority of games don't do story well. तो मुझे लग रहा है like, hey, you get to hear about the shooting, the mechanics, the world, if the game is fun to play, the gameplay, the visuals and all you get to hear. But whenever किसी game का story अच्छा, I think a story overshadows all the other discussions sometimes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
है ना, तो मुझे लग रहा है like Madhav has a point, but मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है also you get to see कि अगर story heavy है तो story जैसे Last of Us में like
Last of Us 2.
yeah, the controversy की वजह से ही ले लो कि people weren't discussing how incredible उस game के gameplay mechanics है, and from Naughty Dog मैं बिल्कुल expect नहीं कर रहा था how gorgeous that world is in like all the minutest details. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि story can easily overtake the entire discussion for a game when it's good or interesting.
Right.
I think I have a lot of casual. Sorry to cut you off, Sushir. I have a lot of
go ahead.
friends and people who I know who are very casual gamers. Like they own consoles, but they don't play that many games. Scaling it, to पूछेंगे कि is this game good? They'll play something like an Uncharted, or they'll play something like God of War, and they'll be like, I liked this game क्योंकि इसका story अच्छा था. Like the first reaction I get from like a lot of casual gamers when I talk to them about games is कि यार God of War क्या game था, क्या story थी, Prince of Persia क्या मस्त था, क्या story थी, Assassin's Creed 2 क्या अच्छा था, like Ezio क्या मस्त character था, क्या story थी. So I think on towards more casual side, people like the story part more than talking about gameplay, because maybe they don't understand the gameplay, or they don't have an idea of different games and mechanics to talk about and discuss it. So I feel ki I've seen a lot of places where people like to talk about the story more because they connect with it more.
Yeah, and I feel that games as an art form can definitely focus more on story. We have had it with so many different games, but think about the games which have done both well at the same time. I'm not going to name any of the games that we have been playing recently, but think of something like Portal, right? Portal 2 came out. That game just melt my brains. Like के story और gameplay के 2-3 character उसके अंदर robot है दोनों, artificial intelligence hai. With that they make up such an interesting story and with such innovative gameplay जो पहले वैसा पोर्टल वाला gameplay कहीं और नहीं दिखा था. And think about like something like BioShock, right? The twist in the end, the whole story, the way it goes, I think there is a great possibility that you can check both boxes, that you can have great gameplay as well as a fantastic story to boot.
Yeah. And also often I feel कि having a good story is like looked at like validation for the game, and अगर उसका story अच्छा है तो a lot of its other weaknesses will be forgiven.
Right.
काफी बारी
I would like to bring up Red Dead for that. Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Great, amazing world. Character story, awesome. Gameplay feels like ass.
Yeah.
So bad.
I kind of enjoy it, but
On
I
keyboard and mouse,
yeah.
it's just
yeah.
I get
Keyboard
what
and
you're
mouse
saying.
maybe.
But
yeah.
And also काफी बारी तो लोग people try to say कि इस game का story अच्छा है just to try and elevate it, like Ghost of Tsushima, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Manus is out for blood.
And sometimes you have Far Cry 6.
Sometimes you have Far Cry 6. All right, next I just want to address this. Dr. Soulsbone ने काफी लंबा एक comment डाला था. I read all of it and I just want to say, man, like detailed comment, a lot of interesting thoughts that I agree with, and it had me thinking also. Just want to give it a shout out. ये इतना लंबा है कि it's like an entire comment show. उसका एक comment वो पढ़ते पढ़ते. So I won't read it, but great thoughts.
Comment of the week. That we're not even talking about.
That Manus thought about once he read it.
चलो हमारा favorite analyst Narendra is asking, वो कह रहा है कि hello expert team, sales figure भी दिया करो console का, which I think next time से in the news I'll make sure कि मैं वो भी add कर दूँ, या at least monthly सही, क्योंकि I think मसाला और that is honestly all I was thinking. ऐसे कोई date knowledge के लिए नहीं है, but I think it also we can maybe थोड़ा सा kind of draw a line month on month basis पे what's happening, especially with Game Pass, Spartacus coming up. It'll be interesting to track this.
Also, like, good week for Narendra to bring this up because Xbox console sales are my god. Narendra for the win.
Calculated move.
He knows the way.
सारे
Alright.
stats देके बैठा है ना वो क्योंकि.
चलो next.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, what's next? That's what I was.
Oh, अच्छा, okay. ये हमने we had this discussion like if we were to go back in time, and Sushir had an amazing story to tell.
No.
Oh.
You did. सुनने में तो मजा आया था. Even though
I
like
was
one
enjoying
comment
it.
pointed कि ना like end में क्या हुआ समझ नहीं आया. It's like a superhero movie का story. Like you're never really sure.
Sequel में आएगा.
Yeah, sequel में आएगा. So anyways, काफी लोगों ने they had their own thoughts that they shared. Killer Gamers ने कहा I would have asked Jeff Kaplan to not release Brigitte for Overwatch and change the character. Was she that bad, Brigitte?
She was pretty as a healer. She is supposed to be a support character to heal people. ठीक है.
Okay.
What ended up happening was, and she heals by hitting people, like with a chain mace. So when she hits people, she heals you and the people around her in her team.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was she had such strong abilities. She could stun people. She could whip people back, and her whip ka range and the amount of healing
my
she would
God.
do
Way
was
too much.
very like strong. Like the amount she would heal was very strong, and on top of that, she had additional on a cooldown. She could throw out health packs to people, like just press E and they would gain a certain amount of like armor essentially.
She became a
So she
DPS
was-
plus healer
Yeah,
kind of.
she was a damage output and a healer, and she was she could survive for so long that she essentially became a mini tank. So she was doing everything like ek saath when she released, and she was just incredibly strong.
So everybody
one
kind of
character.
picked her as a healer because you can heal, but you can, my god, damage you can give is
Insane
insane.
damage.
So everybody would complain so much that Overwatch is like fine, take it. Then they nerfed her so much कि उसके बाद तो very less people use it. But yeah, initially I felt like it didn't make sense because she also has a shield. She also has that range. Like it's crazy to have that as a healer. Because healer में you heal mostly. You're the healer. You're not supposed to.
And on
give so much
top of that, the meta at that time of Overwatch was called goats. Okay, goats. What people would do it, they had a specific combination of characters in the team. So they had Reinhardt with the big shield and hammer. Okay, they had Lucio who would boost people's speed, and they had these characters who would either freeze them or CC them, crowd control them, stun them. So what ended up happening was this giant 6-player ball of death, right? These 6-player group would just march towards people, and because of how much insane healing Brig did and how much insane damage she did, along with Reinhardt, who's also a melee swinger, and because they had so much speed, they would just smash people. And because of the other DPS in the team who would stun them, like they would stun opponents so fast and just finish them off, ki literally everyone would like, what? Like just get wiped.
Kya?
So Overwatch League में everyone was playing that. Like then people realized कि ये चलेगा, तो on quick play and like competitive लोग started playing it. Lower levels में तो fuck all होता था, but higher levels में literally everyone would play that, and if you didn't pick the certain characters, you would get flamed. कि why aren't you picking this? What is wrong? And उसके बाद थोड़े बाद is when role queue came into play. कि okay, you can queue for tank, only 2 tanks, only 2 DPS and 2 healers. So Brig के आने के बाद is when it sort of snowballed. It was already snowballing, but this made it bigger.
ये कैरेक्टर कितना दिन इतना ओवरपावर था? मतलब how many days was it like?
Months, no?
I think not months, but it kept getting nerfs. Like she kept getting nerfs.
She got a lot of nerfs.
She got a lot of nerfs. But I think it must have, like when she came out, she was so strong कि Overwatch League में the patch they used for it was for quite a while. And even after getting nerfed, she was still quite strong. So it went on for a bit, maybe a month or 2, I think. But I don't remember that much, but it felt like forever. Is what it felt like when playing. Because every match would have that. So imagine playing for 2 hours a day for a month. That is what 13 to 60 for 60 hours. That's what you experience. It's pain. So yeah.
All right. Harshit then says Thanneru Lavanya. He says I would have delayed Cyberpunk. I think everyone of us would have.
Yeah.
And same he says for Halo Infinite, which I think makes sense. Then Chaitanya says first thing strikes to me is Xbox One ka launch. And yeah, it makes sense. Xbox One ka jo launch tha na,
Always
they could
online.
have handled it a lot better. Yeah. Then Kshitiz says, personally, if I had the chance to time travel, I would have stopped Rockstar from making GTA Online. I think just because मुझे GTA Online पसंद नहीं है, I don't know कि like I mean a lot of people have good. जैसे the other stuff like जैसे Overwatch वाला is like a legit complaint. Cyberpunk has issues. Halo Infinite has issues. Xbox One का launch had issues. GTA Online has issues, but it feels like the majority of players are enjoying it. तो मुझे मजा नहीं आ रहा था. Like I'm just saying, Kshitiz, like hey, it's your time traveling opportunity. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And I just one thing to that, like I think GT Online gave Rockstar that fuck you money to make something like Red Dead Redemption 2 in that kind of glory. Like itne sare systems, itne sare, you know, so many things working together and everything, graphics, you know, then conversations and everything. Such a deep game. I think वो 8 साल का था, 8 years का development cycle था, I think. Yeah. So I think that मतलब उसका पैसा तो कहीं से आने का था ना. So I feel GT Online will be responsible for many good things.
A lot of games, yeah.
Yeah, Rockstar.
I think if Rockstar would say, ki, hey, this game was possible because of GTA Online.
Right.
And then next GTA 6 and be like, hey, this was also possible because of GTA Online. And Red Dead 1 remake is also, hey, वो spaghetti code we managed to remake because of GTA Online. And so then people will be like, ले लो सारा पैसा लो, सब ले लो.
आज के दिन में रेमेडी को AAA का पैसा देना मैक्स पेन 1 and 2 के लिए, खुला छूट देना कि you know go and make this game. So that also उसके लिए भी तो जो पैसे की जरूरत है, that you know that has to come from somewhere. There has to be a revenue stream for them.
Yeah,
true.
Otherwise they won't risk it. They won't like try to even go for that unless they have something like some sort of fallback. So GTA Online is their fallback. So it is what it is.
Yep. All right. To wrap it up, we have a bunch of praise for 20 questions.
But
जो unfortunately इस हफ्ते नहीं कर पाएंगे हम. Ayush isn't here, and only Ayush can think of those games.
Insane games.
हमारे में उतना दिमाग नहीं है. Only Ayush can.
Yeah.
So the series cannot happen without Ayush, but the praise comes in. Best series in Game of Fiend. रखी कह रहा है.
कितने सीरीज है हमारे गेम फिन में?
Actually दो ही है. दो ही है बस. And उनको the other one they like more than what we're doing right now. So, दूसरा again Yash says nice video. Love this type of trivia in games. Best series in game अच्छे तो रखी ने already कह दिया. Live session, people are asking if we can do 20 questions as a live session. And yeah, that's it.
रात के 12 बजे आओगे देखते हैं.
वही बात चाहिए. कभी-कभी 1 या 2 बज जाते हैं.
2 बजे तक हो गए.
लाइव सेशन के टिप्स ले सकते हैं क्या वहाँ पे हम लोग? Or would it be considered cheating?
Cheating.
Oh yeah, that'll be awesome.
एक poll डाल सकते हैं. We can add a poll and have people vote कि hey, next question में what do we ask them?
Oh
like,
yeah,
what does the audience want to ask next?
That could be fun. That's
so we like put 3
Yeah.
questions for them and they can choose कि कौन सा पूछना है.
ठीक है. This when we finally get to doing this live.
Yeah.
This is a good idea.
Year.
All right.
Hey, but can't we tease people? Like maybe there might be a new series, maybe.
You're already teasing them with that button, man.
I know.
That is the series ho kya raha.
This is the series.
But yeah, there is a new thing coming up, and I don't know. I don't want to talk much about it, but we had a small demo. We all played together, and damn, that was fun, man. Seriously, like it was a lot of fun. I've never played that game, and
Oh wait, are we not supposed to say it?
बीप कर देंगे.
Oh shit, देंगे. Shit, हाँ. कुछ racist overlay कर देना ऊपर से. बीप करने की जगह.
But yeah, something interesting. Not a video game as such, but a game that everyone is enjoying.
Lots of sound effects.
Lots of sound effects.
And lots of editing jugglery by Abhi, which will be required. But it'll be great.
Something exciting is coming.
Something exciting.
All right, that brings us to the end of the comments.